Aelythria, the world behind the world. Aelythria is what the locals call it. Mundanians, people from the non-magical baseline world, tend to go with something more dramatic. The Fey realm, the place ghosts come from, where the weird stuff leaks in. They're not completely wrong. Aelythria is a world overlaid on top of the mundane one, sharing the same mountains, oceans, and city grids, but humming at a different frequency of reality. Most people outside it are simply tuned to the wrong station. They walk through blank air where Aelythrian alleys twist, sit over coffee where a Fey market is in full shriek, and sleep peacefully under paladin patrol routes they'll never see. From the inside, Aelythria is its own complete world. Cities lit by emberstones and ether crystals instead of bulbs and wires. Paladins and wayfinders patrolling streets where mana behaves like a very opinionated utility. The Bureau of Arcane Compliance filing forms to decide which spells are legal, which portals are licensed, and which undead are socially acceptable assets. Sometimes, though, the frequencies slip. A ghost jitters between planes. A gnome crosses over a garden wall. A Fey noble steps one rung too far down a staircase and suddenly exists in both worlds at once. To Mundanians, that's a haunting, a cryptid, a fairy story. To Aelythria, it's usually a paperwork incident. Most Mundanians who stumble across a crossing see a creature out of the corner of their eye, or wake up somewhere they definitely didn't go to sleep, will describe it later in the simplest possible way. I think I saw the Fey realm. They mean Aelythria. They just don't know the name yet. How do Mundanians end up in Aelythria? Missing 411 and doors that shouldn't exist. From the Mundanian side, it looks like this. A hiker steps off a trail and never comes back. A camper walks 30 meters to use the bathroom and evaporates between two trees. A kid chases a light across a field and is gone before anyone can finish shouting their name. No struggle, no tracks, no body. Conspiracy forums call it Missing 411. The Bureau of Arcane Compliance has a more precise term, Incident Type 411. Unscheduled Mundanian cross-plane disappearance into Aelythria. It's the kind of phrase that sounds better on a form than in a nightmare. For the record, there are 4 main ways a Mundanian crosses over. Number 1. The door someone forgot to shut. Improperly closed portals. Portals are not supposed to be interesting. Official bureau gates are boring, over-insured things staffed by people with coffee and clipboards. The trouble comes from the ones that weren't closed properly, licensed or not. When a gate collapses, it should leave reality smooth again. When it doesn't, you get a hairline fracture in the barrier between worlds. To Mundanians, this fracture usually feels like a bend in the path where sound goes flat. A patch of fog that never quite lifts. A hallway that's somehow longer on the way back. Most of the time, nothing happens. Then a storm rolls in, or a ley line shifts, or a tired woman on her 3rd night shift walks through at exactly the wrong second, and the hairline fracture realigns with Aelythria. From their side, they took one more step. From ours, they walked through a forgotten murder door. Number 2, when the weather tunes both worlds at once, natural portals. Every so often, the planet hits a chord that both worlds can hear. Thunderstorms, auroras, eclipses, geomagnetic spikes, anything that shakes the atmosphere hard enough can make Aelythria and the mundane realm overlap, just a little. It doesn't look like a glowing doorway. It looks like fog thick enough to erase depth. A whiteout where the horizon feels misplaced. Rain that turns the forest into a single humming shape. Inside that blur, the geography of both worlds lines up for a while. A logging road in Baseline runs straight through a manor-lit alley in Aelythria. A lakeshore and a river pier briefly share coordinates. If a Mundanian walks far enough, long enough, with the weather holding the cord, they'll step out of the blur and into the wrong version of the woods. By the time the sky quiets, the overlap is gone. Backtracking just takes them deeper into a world they were never meant to see. These are the no trace, no struggle 411 cases, the kind that keep bureau statisticians and paladin commanders awake. Number 3. The Hunters in the Green, Fae Traps. The Fae are not one species. They're a whole department of existence that never agreed on a moral policy. Some are caretakers, some are judges, some are artists, some are hunters. A Fae trap is part illusion, part geography, part very old appetite. It usually begins with something small and painfully plausible. A child crying where no child should be. A dog just like yours, sitting at the edge of the trees. A light with the exact color of a phone screen glow, deeper in the dark. Follow it, and the world quietly rewrites itself around your footsteps. The path bends the wrong way. Time takes its hands off the wheel. Everything behind you feels slightly farther than it should. By the time you realize the stars are in the wrong places and the forest smells of flowers that don't grow on your side, you're already walking inside a microliminal, a private corridor the Fae built between Baseline and Aelythria, or worse, into their own pocket domains. Why hunt Mundanians at all? Curiosity, a new toy to prod. Loneliness, a stolen companion. Power, human awe, and fear make excellent currency in some courts. Habit, some predators just never updated their diet. The Bureau calls this Type F411, Fae-initiated acquisition. Paladins have a shorter phrase, none of it printable. Number 4. Doors you sign for, invitations and bargains. Not everyone who crosses is a victim. Some Mundanians go looking for a way in and, for their sins, find it. They answer a whisper in the attic, finish an old ritual, or accept an offer that starts with just one wish. These are the cases with paper trails, journals, chalk circles on floorboards, half-burnt contracts. Somewhere in the file is a line that reads, "Subject consent, affirmative, questionable judgment." We still count them as 411 events, but with a notation, 411D, they signed. We warned them. Why no one hears them scream. From Aelythria's side, 411 events are noisy. Mana flares, resonance spikes, Fae signatures, panicked incident reports. From the Mundanian side, they're silent. You cannot scream across a frequency barrier. Sound, light, GPS signals, none of it travels cleanly between worlds without being deliberately carried. So, if you're from Baseline and you step through a forgotten gate, or a weather-borne blur, or a Fae's idea of a fun afternoon, you disappear like a radio switching station's mid-song. 1 second, you're real. The next second, you're a legend, a file number, or somebody's cautionary tale. In Aelythria, we just call that a 411. And if you're very lucky, someone in a long coat with an overworked wand eventually comes looking.